WION continues to get you all the latest updates on the global coronavirus outbreak. Now let's start with the situation in China, where the outbreak first started. 35 more deaths were reported in China, along with 573 new cases. Overall, 2,870 people have died due to the virus, and close to 80,000 positive cases have been reported. Now, though these numbers remain high, they are a far cry from what was reported in late January and February. The lockdown measures are still in place, but factories and businesses outside Wuhan have slowly started opening up. In nearby South Korea, 586 new cases were reported, bringing the total number of infections to 3,736. Almost 90% of all the cases have been reported in the city of Daegu. President Moon Jae-in has called for an all-out response against the COVID-19 outbreak. Now, as the country reported one more death on Sunday, taking the total death toll to 18 in the country. Around 70 countries have issued travel advisories warning against visiting South Korea. Australia has meanwhile reported its first casualty from the outbreak. A 78-year-old man who was evacuated from the Diamond Princess cruise ship in Japan succumbed to the virus in a hospital in Perth. His wife has also contracted the virus and is currently receiving treatment at the same hospital. Ecuador confirmed its first case of coronavirus. An elderly woman who was residing in Spain is the victim. The patient arrived in Ecuador on the 14th of February. Now, she did not display symptoms upon her arrival, but soon fell ill and was admitted to the hospital. The patient is currently under intensive care. Over in Pakistan, 2 more infections were reported, bringing the total to 4 confirmed cases in Pakistan. Now, both the individuals hail from the Sindh province and recently had returned from Iran. Pakistan has closed its border with Iran and has suspended all flights to and from the country. Situation in Thailand has also worsened as it has reported its first death from the virus. A 35-year-old man contracted the virus while he was working on a retail shop. He was admitted to the hospital on the 27th of January and diagnosed on the 5th of February. The patient had also dengue fever, which further aggravated his condition. Iran has given India a green light for evacuating its citizens from the coronavirus-hit country. Now, close to 100 Indian students and 300 pilgrims are stuck in Iran following the closure of international airport in Tehran. Now, there are also reports that 500 Indian fishermen are being held in the port city of Bandar Abbas. India will now have to dispatch an aircraft to Tehran and bring back its nationals. Iran has promised to screen and examine Indian nationals at the Tehran airport prior to the evacuation. But in return, Iran wants India to provide the same service to Iranian nationals who are planning to return home from India. This evacuation proposal comes at a time when Iran is being widely accused of downplaying the outbreak. Just yesterday, BBC's Persian wing reported that the actual death toll in Iran could be as high as 210. Now, this is almost 6 times higher than what Iran's government is reporting. Overnight, the country reported 9 more deaths and 50% jump in infections. Overall, there have been 43 deaths and 593 confirmed cases in Iran. In Italy, the death toll from the coronavirus has climbed to 29 and more than 1,000 people have been infected. In response, the government has locked down 11 cities in northern Italy. The country's economy also expected to take a hit as tourism inflow is gradually drying up. Experts predict that the national output could fall by somewhere between 1 to 3%. All public gatherings, including school and church masses, have been suspended. Universities and schools will remain closed until the 8th of March, and if the situation does not get better, these closures will be extended. But teachers in Milan have found a way around the school closure. Classes in the city have gone digital, with teachers circulating study material and sending video tutorials to the students. Leading this effort is a 37-year-old teacher, Alessio Villarosa, who is sending voice messages on geography and Italian history to her students.
Come sempre vi trovate.
Italy's sporting calendar has also been disrupted by the outbreak. 5 Serie A matches have been postponed, including the much-awaited clash between title rivals Juventus and Inter Milan. Earlier, these matches were to be played behind closed doors. The delay means that the Italian Cup final has been pushed back from the 13th of May to the 20th of May. A 50-year-old man in Washington has become the first coronavirus casualty on American soil. According to officials, the man had an underlying health issue which aggravated his condition. But the important thing to note here is that he contracted the virus from an unknown source. He had no contact with anybody who had traveled to virus-hit countries. Over the last week, 3 separate cases of unknown origin were reported in Oregon and California as well. This means that the pathogen is now spreading in communities, triggering fears of an outbreak. Washington Governor Jay Inslee has declared a state of emergency. Health agencies will now have access to more funds, and the National Guard can be called in, if necessary, for relief work. The Trump administration has tightened its travel ban on Iran. Foreign nationals who have visited Iran in the past 14 days will not be allowed to enter the United States. At the same time, President Trump offered to help Iran deal with the outbreak, saying all Iran had to do was ask for it.
And I say here and now, if we can help the Iranians, we're doing certain things for them now, and if we can help the Iranians, we have the greatest healthcare professionals in the world, and if we can help the Iranians with this problem, we are certainly willing to do so. We would love to be able to help them, and all they have to do is ask. We will have great professionals over there. We have the best in the world.
On Monday, Donald Trump will meet top bosses from the pharma industry to discuss treatment methods and the development of a vaccine. He urged U.S. citizens to remain calm and insisted that the government was ready to face any situation. But both the president and his health secretary admitted that more cases will be reported in the near future.
Additional cases in the United States are likely, but healthy individuals should be able to fully recover, and we think that will be a statement that we can make with great surety now that we've gotten familiar with this problem.